What was your favorite part of 2020?
2020 in hindsight.
Because it is in hindsight.
2020 is gone! Yeah, 2020 in hindsight. We're gonna go over the year and tell about all of the things that we did in 2020. And even though it was probably one of the hardest, most horrible years we can remember, we still managed to have some fun.
We traveled more this year than I think we ever have with our RV.
We did. We went to more places this year than we ever have. I think it's because we got such an early head start by traveling in January. Usually we'd wait till the camping season starts to actually go places. But this time, as soon as it was New Year's, we were already planning for Florida. Yeah, we were already headed south. And the first week of January, we went down to Florida to experience the Tampa RV show.
It was amazing. We made a lot of new friends, toured some fabulous RVs that came out this year.
But I didn't get as much out of the actual RV show itself as the people.
Totally.
We met so many of the other YouTubers out there. There's lots of RV YouTubers out there, and we're just a drop in a bucket for a lot of people. I know that you've got your favorites out there. We met Nate and Marissa of Less Junk, More Journey and the Getaway Couple, and many others that are out there. The Roads We Roam, It's About Time Now, Living the RV Loca, Camper Life, Blue Wave Odyssey. And if I've forgotten anybody, please forgive me. But we love all of you, and
it was so great.
We loved meeting you, and it was wonderful getting together with all those YouTubers, and they all help each other out, and it's great to meet up with people like that.
Definitely, we got a sense of community from doing that. We just got invited randomly to a potluck that was being held, and it was so nice.
Yeah, and we were hoping to meet up with some of those people again, and COVID really kind of put a damper on a lot of things, because we could have met up with a lot more people this year had we not had, certain things not been canceled. Because we were going to go to the Hershey show.
That's right.
We were going to go to Hershey, and that got canceled. So
right.
We were planning to meet up with YouTubers there, but being that RV show got canceled, we had to change our plans.
But we did kind of step back and punt. Circling back to the Florida trip, it was really nice. We stayed in the parking lot of a church that his brother-in-law pastor at.
Yeah, right in Port Orange, Florida, which is right there, right below Daytona Beach.
Awesome.
And it's right there at the Ponce Inlet. And we spent a few days there with them, mooch docking. We are professional mooch dockers, by the way. We probably have done a lot of mooch docking because we mooch dock in so many different places. But we were mooch docking in Florida for a while with my sister and enjoyed that time. And then we headed on down to the RV show in Tampa. And so we didn't have to worry about our tanks or anything like that because we knew that we were headed to a campground soon.
But we got a little taste of Disney. We went to Disney Springs and we went to the City Walk at Universal Studios. So we had a good time there. I didn't get the full experience at that moment, but that's okay. It was wonderful.
But we had a hot dog that was this big.
It was huge.
It was this big. I'm not kidding.
2 feet long.
It was. I think it's more than 2 feet. I think it's advertised as 2 feet, but it looked more than 2 feet.
It was great.
Yeah.
Oh, one thing we also did while we were in Florida, we did go to the Holy Land experience.
which is probably gonna be shut down pretty soon.
And which is so sad because I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
We stayed at this little place, I guess it was about an hour from Tampa, called Sunshine Village. It was great.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it was about the only campsite we could get.
Because of the RV show.
Because everything was booked. Everything was booked that was close to Tampa. So we had to drive quite a ways to get there. And I'm glad we went. I'm so glad we went. And it was wonderful to meet up with all those people. I mean, the RV community is amazing.
It is. And so much camaraderie that we've been able to tap into with that. So we went to a party and a couple different parties. That was really fun. And we also, while we were in that area, went to Wikiwachi.
Yeah, we saw the mermaid show, which was amazing. Great, lots of things to do in Florida. And here we are, it's the middle of winter, and we're swimming and in our shorts and everything, and having a jolly time down there in Florida. When it gets time to come back,
Woo! It was cold.
major difference, because like from being in Florida and then coming back north, we went from wearing, short sleeves and running the air conditioner to
freezing.
To totally freezing. And I mean that literally, because it was below freezing when we got back. Before I could even park the RV, I had to winterize it. As soon as we stopped, I had to blow out all the pipes so that it wouldn't damage anything. And it snowed the next day. The very next day, it was snow on the ground. So we went all the way from shorts and sunshine and loving it to snow. We had to wait a while before we went on our next trip.
Well, we had planned on doing some things, and that's when the pandemic hit.
Right. We started off with a plan to go up to Pilot Mountain. We were going to go to Pilot Mountain. We were going to do the hike around the dome rock. And we tried it one time, but it was a little bit too cold. And we were going to come back the very next week because we knew the weather was going to be better. And when we come up there, there's a police officer right at the gate turning everybody around saying, nope, it's closed.
That was the beginning of the pandemic.
We did get to go to Quarry Park, though.
Yes, which is a park in my hometown of Winston-Salem.
Which was really nice. It's a very nice little park. It's really cool because it got this overlook where you can see three mountains and downtown Winston-Salem.
It's beautiful.
It's got a great look out there. It's a tiny little park, but it was the only thing open, so.
We had to find something to do.
Everybody's already got cabin fever anyway because of being in the winter, and then they shut everything down and tell everybody to stay home. That just prolonged that.
Right.
And so we didn't know what to do. So we kind of improvised. We did some campfire cooking and did a few things in the backyard to occupy our time for a while. Kerr Lake was the first thing we did as soon as the state parks opened up again. As soon as they said, okay, yeah, you can go camping now, we went to Kerr Lake and had the best of times there. It had been flooded a little bit because there had been raining, but it was sunny while we were there, but the water levels were pretty high. We went out on our kayaks for the first time, had a great time down there. Those things, got a deal on those things. They were only $50 each.
And so we had a blast.
We did.
We had such a good time with those.
And it's cool when, you're right there at the camper. You're not driving anywhere to go have fun.
Mm-hmm. And that's how this was. It was amazing.
Where you just stay at the campground and you don't have to drive anywhere.
And another big positive to the state parks, at least here in North Carolina, is that you don't have to check out till 3 p.m.
No, you don't. You don't have to check out till 3. Man, that was great.
We just chilled all morning.
We're going to see a lot more state parks. We really like doing state parks. The only thing that she kind of struggles with, I guess, is the not having the sewer. Because
Cuts your shower time.
Yeah. After Kerr Lake,
Asheboro.
we went to Zooland Family Campground because we had a discount.
Yes, and I would recommend Zooland to anybody. It's so much fun.
You get so much bang for your buck there. There's great stuff at the campground itself, being that it's right next to the river. So it's got lots of great hiking trails and stuff like that where you can do a good nature walk while you're down there. But in Asheboro, there's just so much that you can do. It's one of the most popular places for RVers.
Around this area, I would say for sure.
I mean, there's 3 campgrounds there. There's the Zooland Family Campground, you got a Jellystone Campground, and you got a KOA there, and they stay booked all the time.
But Zooland is kind of the creme de la creme, I think, for most people. They really flock to Zooland.
Yeah, they do. It's the best rates. It's got the easiest rates. You get a lot of good amenities, and you're right near the zoo.
And we had so much fun there.
Just to let you know, Asheboro has the world's largest zoo in the whole world, as far as landmass goes. Now, they don't have, the most animals or anything like that, but they've got the largest areas because the Asheboro Zoo is one of the top zoos in the world where they simulate the
natural habitat,
the natural environment needed for these specific animals. And so these animals feel a lot more comfortable because they don't even feel like they're in a zoo because their habitat is matched perfectly. They simulate the environment needed, and that's how these animals are able to thrive in this environment at this particular zoo because they take such great effort in doing that.
Now, our experience at Zooland, we went more for the campground. We didn't do the zoo on that particular trip. But Asheboro in and of itself has a lot to do. There's tons of antique shops, some good restaurants. So there's a lot to see in Asheboro itself.
The covered bridge.
And the covered bridge, the Pisgah covered bridge also.
Is right there.
It's
right down the road from the campground. In fact, the campground is on Pisgah Covered Bridge Road.
So we had a really good time with that. If you're in the area, I highly recommend going to Zooland.
Zooland is a great campground. That was also part of the Route 64 tour that we're compiling footage for at this time. We did a few other things along Route 64, like going to Raleigh, to the historical museums there. We went to Brevard and Sliding Rock and all of that. That's another thing that's along Route 64. We did a lot of things that we're collecting a lot of great footage. We haven't shown you all that yet, and we're not going to until it's time. So be prepared. You're going to be surprised by some of the things that we've done that we haven't even showed you yet. Mm-hmm. Now, we had planned on doing Sliding Rock and actually taking the camper there with us one time, but we found out that the weather
was going to be awful.
Was going to be so horrible that we said, forget that, we're going to the beach. And
that's what we did.
We just said, I'm going to the beach. And we went down south to Myrtle Beach, and we had a free night there too.
Yes, and that was at the Hideaway Campground in Myrtle Beach. We had a coupon from an RV show. So, lesson to be learned. Pro tip, if you go to these RV shows, spin that wheel, stop at the booths, listen to them, because they give out free nights. And if maybe something you could take them up on, we save all of those coupons.
Yeah, we get a lot of free nights when we can. In fact, we were going to go to White Lake as well because we had a free night there. 2 free nights. But the thing is that because of COVID,
we weren't able to redeem them.
All the attractions that are around White Lake were shut down, so there wasn't no use in going if you can't do anything.
Right.
So we might do that in the future. The thing that's interesting about White Lake is the circles. If you look at that particular area, if you look up White Lake on your GPS, on like Google Maps, and use the satellite picture, you will see what seems like all of these craters that are in eastern North Carolina. And it's the mystery of the circles. And what many believe had happened at one time was was a major bombardment of meteors at one time that caused all these huge craters. And some of these craters have filled up with water and have become lakes. And White Lake is one of those. And it's a strange mystery because nobody really knows exactly where all these circles that you can see from a satellite perspective came from. It's pretty interesting to look at.
So maybe we'll get there at some point over the summer or when it warms up, and we can show you some of that because it's a really cool place based on the research we've done. So we want to go deeper with that.
Yeah, we had a good time down at Myrtle Beach. One of the things that we learned about Myrtle Beach is that because it is such a popular tourist location, nobody was there.
Yeah, the crowds were greatly reduced. Myrtle Beach is a hot spot in the summertime.
Usually is, and I think that people knew that, and so they were trying to avoid that to keep social distancing and everything. So the crowds were very thin. But then when we went to Holden Beach, which is not a major hot spot,
we had a lot of crowds.
It was crowded.
And if you're from North Carolina, South Carolina, you know Myrtle Beach is like where everybody goes.
Yeah, it's a very popular place.
Anybody that lives in the Carolinas, that's you.
Well, even some far away. I mean,
even from far away, but particularly in North and South Carolina.
Myrtle Beach is a very popular place.
I mean, I grew up going there my whole life. As long as I can remember, we went to Myrtle Beach. That's just what you do. and this, I mean, you go there after you graduate. You go there.
Yeah, there's even movies made about it.
Yes.
Shag.
I love that movie. But anyway, so that's a big hot spot in the Carolinas in particular.
And so because it was a hot spot, it caused the exact opposite to happen when COVID kicked in. So everybody was avoiding the normal hot spots and finding other places that they thought would be less crowded.
That became a hot spot.
That became hot spots. So
that's the next place we went after that was Holden Beach. So we did get a little beach time this summer.
Yeah, we did. We got quite a bit of beach time this year, and we enjoyed it wholeheartedly. And the thing about Holden Beach is not so much the beach itself, but because of where it's located, you've got all these awesome towns that are around it that you can go and see just not far from there. So it's like you're in a central location and you experience this town, this town, this town, this town, this town, all while you're there. It's great to see it. Southport, we went there.
Oh, I love Southport.
Wilmington.
Love Wilmington. Just so many charming little places we went this summer, just all on the coast.
And movies were made there. I mean, you can tell if Hollywood recognizes the Carolina coast quite a bit because a lot of movies are made there. Yeah, well, we went back to Ashburn to actually experience the zoo, and then we went down to Savannah.
Savannah, y'all, is amazing, and we haven't even finished showing y'all that yet. We still got videos from our trip to Savannah coming.
Yeah, there's still more videos to show you. We're going to tell you how to not experience Savannah. Don't make the mistakes we made. We wore ourselves out.
Yes. That was the big takeaway from our Savannah trip is that you have to pace yourself and kind of zone out what you're going to do or you wind up bouncing from one end of town to the other on foot and you will exhaust yourself.
Right. Take everything by sections.
But it's a blast.
Yeah, there's so much to do. So much history there. I mean, I found General Green's burial place, and he's one of my ancestors, so that was pretty significant to me.
Really cool. So I highly recommend that too. We had a very good time, and it's very much a foodie town. There's food everywhere.
Oh, yeah. If you go to there's a place called Fire. Okay?
Oh my gosh, I'm going to hear about
Fire street food. Okay?
The sandwich.
It was a crab and shrimp sandwich
with avocado.
With avocado on it, and I fell in love with that sandwich. I mean, that sandwich was divine. I mean, it was like I took a bite of that sandwich and I could like hear the ah. I mean, it was that good. You know, the lights come on. You know, you see that scene in the movies when that one of those moments.
And I never got to have it.
No, you didn't. We tried to, but we ended up going to Sixpence instead.
Which is cool, and also a movie spot.
Another movie spot, yeah.
So that is some of the highlights we've done for this year. So you haven't even seen it all yet. So we're planning out our 2021 now. So we hope to be telling you a lot more about that. There's a lot to come.
We do have a lot to come. We have a lot of trips that we have planned. One of the questions that you might have is, okay, we're both working full-time. We have a house. We're not on the road full-time, but yet we're able to go to all of these great locations. And you might be asking how in the world we are able to do that. Well, we do things cheap.
We try. Moderate your eating out.
We do things the cheapest way. We get discounts on our camping stays. We save money on fuel by getting fuel discounts. And me being a truck driver does help. And especially at the Flying J's and pilots, because they are in association with the Good Sam network. So you get discounts that way. And Flying J and Pilot also accommodate RVs a lot better too than other truck stops. But,
And we try to moderate our eating out.
well, she can cook good anyway. So.
I try. We try to moderate the eating out as much as we can, by probably at least having 2 meals out of our day in the camper as often as possible.
Yeah.
Now, you can't always do that 100%, but we try.
Right. We try to do things as cheaply as possible. We save money whenever we can, in every way possible that we can, and we'll share you some more of our tips. We shared some of those tips with you when we did the Myrtle Beach video. Ding! There's the click right there. Just click the link, and you can check out some of those tips of how to save money. But the more money we save,
The more you can do.
the more we can do. So we do that. And we also, when we schedule things out, she's working from home now anyway. So, but while scheduling things out, we can do more with our time off.
Right. And I think this year, we keep saying it every year, and we're growing and learning. What we're trying to do this year is learning to do as much as you can in advance so that you know you're going to get that time off and you have a direction for the year. So that's what we're working on right now, and we look forward to sharing more of that with you as the year goes on. So that being said, we do hope you've enjoyed this recap, and we hope everybody has a fantastic new year. We're going to try to, and hope we can put this pandemic behind us and that everybody can get back to doing what they want to do.
Happy camping, really.
Thank you so much for, yeah.
We really hope that you do have some happy camping. We can camp now.
Yes, so hit that like and subscribe button, and until next time, happy camping. Circling back to the trip. Hey, Oscar.
Oscar, what'd you hear? I think something just woke him up.
He's cute though.
Yeah, he's going back to sleep.
But anyway, we tried a lemon. Yeah.
What are you doing? You were there. You ate it too.
I'm sorry, you just made me go.
It's a hot dog.